contending form. Guinn faces 20-win Zuri Lawrence. Dominick Guinn has been up, down, and all around during his 6-year career. His upside peak carrying the label Next Great American Heavyweight. His downside filled with humbling losses. From the beatdown of Michael Grant and Duncan Dukawari to James Toney to the bounce back against Audley Harrison, he's faced them all. But last June on Wednesday Night Fights, he faced a very tough slap of reality. The skilled Tony Thompson was ready to take the next step, while Guinn was having trouble taking any steps. That loss set Guinn back. Now he realizes his position.
I'm at the end of my rope, and my back is up against the wall. Probably my back has been up against the wall a few other fights, but now I really feel like I'm cornered. So, got to go out and do it. Not pull it out, but spectacular.
Tonight he faces the light-punching but skilled Zuri Lawrence. Zuri has outworked 20 other heavyweights throughout his 12-year career, most notably 15 months ago against Jamil McCline. McCline was a Ring Magazine top 10 ranked fighter at the time, but Zuri pulled off the big upset. He simply outworked McCline at every turn. Zuri was thought to have a bright future. Little did he know it would all go dark. It happened last February. He took on the then unbeaten Calvin Brock. It was a nondescript fight until Brock uncorked the left hook of his life. Zuri was out cold for several scary minutes. Many say it was the knockout of the year. Here's what Zuri had to say about it.
That was a bad knockout. It deserved it. Hey, I'm sad that I was on the tail end of it, you know? But that's the way it goes. Beautiful, it was a beautiful knockout.
So, I mean, you sit back and say, yeah, that was knockout.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? I don't know anyone else that got knocked out that bad.
Zuri is a rare breed of heavyweight, a pure boxer without a career knockout of his own, but still he says you have to respect him.
Everybody makes that mistake, thinking I can't knock anybody out, that I have no power. But eventually a knockout's gonna come. It might come tonight.
Maybe it's tonight. Dominick Guinn was in the gym working out when he got word of this fight 10 days ago. Zuri Lawrence has been working many top camps as a sparring partner since the KO loss to Brock. Will any of that valuable gym work show up in the fight plan? Here's Teddy Atlas.
I'm going to demonstrate what Dominick Guinn has to do tonight, and to do that, I'm going to welcome back my partner, Saul Avalao, who's been away for a little while, put a couple pounds on, but I'm sure you were looking out to help us because we're going to demonstrate heavyweights tonight, so you want to make it look authentic. Thank you for that. Thank you. Now, Dominick Guinn, he'll be looking for a left hook because the last time Zuri Lawrence was in the ring 11 months ago, he got knocked out with a left hook. There's a couple openings that Lawrence gives you to get that punch off. Defensively, Lawrence likes to chase with his right hand when he's blocking a jab. He chases too far, he leaves it wide open. Feinting a little bit, bang. There's the opening for the left hook for Guinn. Also, when Lawrence goes on offense, he likes to throw a right uppercut, sometimes from too far away. He drops his hand and he leaves an opening for a left hook. Either way you slice it, look for a left hook tonight by Dominick Guinn to get him on the winning track. For Zuri Lawrence, as we noted, he's coming off a knockout loss. So one thing you know, he doesn't want to stand in front of his opponent, Dominick Guinn, too long. Guinn can punch a little bit. So there's good news here because there's opportunities I've noticed where Guinn will cover up and give you a chance to get off and get out. Now, when Guinn covers up, goes into that peekaboo like that, that's a chance for Lawrence that he should take advantage of to get those punches off and get out. Stay a little bit ahead of Guinn. Don't wait for him to come back. Also, when covered up like that, there's an opportunity to split the guard right down the middle. Zuri, keep it simple. 1-2, down the middle. Maybe down goes Guinn, maybe. But either way, a chance for an upset win for Zuri Lawrence.
He did it to Jamil McCline. Can Zuri Lawrence do it against Dominick Guinn? Big crowd here in Rochester. They have come out to see this heavyweight main event. Zuri Lawrence is 6'4", 237 pounds. 20 wins, 11 losses, 4 draws. You know about the KO from Brock. How about some of the other big names that he has faced? Draw with Ray Austin, win over Paulo Vidoz, and of course the most recent win against Jamil McCline that we detailed. Even with all that Guinn has been through, Only 31 years old, 6'3", 225, 27 wins, 4 losses, a draw. 18 more knockouts than Zuri Lawrence, who doesn't have one. Last 8 fights, Guinn 3 wins, 4 losses, a draw after starting his career so well. Charlie Fitch is the ref. It's scheduled for 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, you both know the rules. I want you to make this a clean fight. Fighting at the bell.
The ring experience is brought to us for men. Hair color. You can see both men have a lot of experience as pros. They have faced good competition, but it is Dominick Guinn who has the superior amateur pedigree. He was a National Golden Gloves champ, a U.S. National champ. Teddy, it is hard not to watch that knockout against Calvin Brock and think to yourself, wow, how is this guy going to take a bunch right from the start?
Hopefully for him and his people, he won't have to right from the start. The early rounds and the first round, maybe the most important round of the career right now of Zuri Lawrence, because last time he was in the ring, even though it was 11 months ago, he was knocked unconscious, as our fans saw. He doesn't know if he's okay. He needs a round now to let himself know, I'm okay, and then I can go about business, just another fight. This round of utmost importance to Zuri Lawrence.
Not often you see a knockout ratio of 0. Such is the case with Zuri Lawrence. That doesn't mean that he can't get a W. Just as Jamil McCline. Left hook, then they fall in.
There was a reason why Dominick Guinn was such a thought of prospect early in his career and coming out of the amateurs. Tremendous amateur, as you said very well. And a guy who was undefeated, a guy who so much was thought of. Physically, he has ability. He's got a good chin. He had that amateur pedigree. He knows what to do in the ring. Sometimes he just doesn't do it. That is the mental side of this game. The mental side comprises 75% of this game.
Dominick Guinn in the black trunks, peaked in 2003. TKO's Michael Grant had a decision against the Olympian Duncan Dokawari. Then things started to slip.
In all fairness to Guinn, he has come up short in some performances. He has underachieved in some people's estimations, people that thought he was capable of doing so much more, of such a better career. But in fairness to him, when he has come up short, they have not been against C-level fighters. They have not been against the kind of guys that quite often on our air I call soft opposition. They have been against good fighters.
No doubt about it. Monty Barrett, Sergey Lihovich, who went on to win a world title, stayed tough with James Toney, then had what we thought would be the bounce-back win of his career. It happened on Friday Night Fights last spring against Audley Harrison. Instead, it went the other way, and we saw Tony Thompson kind of now bring himself around and taking the position that Guinn had. Tony Thompson's now the American heavyweight with some career momentum.
Well, that's an interesting guy to bring up, because that is a common opponent for both fighters. And we'll talk about that a little bit more the next round.
Coming to the end of round number 1, Lawrence and Guinn.
The Quiznos is like stacked with a bunch of meat, and the Subway sandwiches, like when you're in kindergarten and your mom throws some stuff together real quick.
If I ran out of gas in front of a Subway place, I'd walk 10 blocks to get this.
A lot of meat. A lot of meat.
You can actually see the meat coming out of the Quiznos sandwich there.
Magnifico? Is that Italian?
Try Quiznos' new Ultimate Italian with a double portion of authentic Italian meats and cheeses. If you're not 100% satisfied, you'll get a free sub. Only from Quiznos. Toasty.
You are a naughty boy.
Warning. The wearing of Tag body spray in collegiate settings may result in straight A's, but a complete misunderstanding of the French language. Comprende?
Tag body spray for guys. Consider yourself warned.
To me, game day is the most important day of the week. It doesn't matter if it's the big game or tossing the ball around in my neighborhood. I believe that my performance is a reflection of how I take care of myself and how I want to live well. GNC Mega Man Sport Multivitamin helps me do just that. It's balanced nutrition in a proprietary sports blend, enhanced with antioxidants, prostate, and heart support, plus key amino acids, the building blocks for healthy muscles. Game day starts with my Mega Man Sport Multivitamin from GNC. Live well.
I never actually thought I'd be disarming bombs and driving robots, but you know, it would just happen. I'm Senior Airman Lewis on Explosive Ordnance Disposal. And right now I'm about to use the robot, the F6, to place a countercharge to take care of an IED that's placed in the back of this vehicle. By countercharging an IED, it lets us blow it up under our conditions, you know, that way nobody gets hurt.
See more videos at DoSomethingAmazing.com.
Round 2 scheduled for 10. Heavyweight main event. Zuri Lawrence in the camouflage trunk. Dominick Guinn, the former top 10 ranked heavyweight, in the black trunks, placed a right hand. Lawrence comes back with a right of his own before they fall in. Teddy, you talked about Tony Thompson being a common opponent for these two fighters. Guinn, we know what happened last year. Exactly. And of course, Lawrence fought him in 2002.
Well, for Guinn, despite his disappointing performances in his career that we talked about, he's shown himself to be the much more durable fighter than Lawrence. And proof of that is who we were just talking about, their performance with Anthony Thompson. Guinn lost a 12-round decision while Lawrence was knocked out in the 7th round.
Calvin Brock, also a common thread. Not that Guinn has faced him as a pro, but Brock, the one name that always kept coming up with Guinn time after time. Of course, Brock, the knockout of the year against Zuri Lawrence last year, and Brock beat out Guinn for a spot on the U.S. Olympic team in 2000, and that's the one guy Guinn has said time after time after time that he'd like to get his hands on.
Well, right now, the danger spots, especially for Lawrence, is on the outside when he tries to close the gap. Guinn trying to use some of that 300-plus amateur experience to time Lawrence with shots as he comes in. Coming in those last couple feet for Lawrence is really a danger zone. He must be careful. He must be tucked up defensively as he closes that gap. So far, not much to separate each fighter. If it continues this way, whoever makes better choices, and neither one has made big choices on the inside. They've made silent agreements a little bit on the inside. You don't hit me, I won't hit you. But if the fight stays this way, without much to separate each fighter, whoever makes better choices to do just a little something on the inside may get the W.
Zuri placed a left hand to the body as they separated, but time and time again, out at range, punches thrown, they fall in and clutch. Who's willing to work in that space? Right now it's Lawrence.
Again, right now, not about conditioning this early in the fight. Not really about physics right now in the fight. It's about making choices.
Oh, is that right hand?
There was a choice to throw a right hand that caught Lawrence. The good news for Lawrence, if there's good news after being dropped, there's only 7 seconds left in this round.
Remember, he was unconscious last year. You cannot be saved by the bell. He must get up here. It's over.
We talked about making choices on the inside. Guinn made a choice and got a little bit of a gap, a little room to make that choice, to throw a right hand. And it was a right hand that dropped Lawrence and a right hand that finished the fight once Lawrence got up. The early part of the fight we said would be the most dangerous ground for Lawrence, having come off that devastating knockout loss 11 months ago to Calvin Brock. He never got past those dangerous early rounds.
Ringside physicians tending to Zuri Lawrence. Meanwhile, Dominick Guinn, all smiles. And that was really something that Dominick Guinn needed at this phase of his career. It had been a long time coming, going all the way back to July of 2004, his last knockout win.
And we talked about the fights where Guinn did not always give the performance people thought he should. Well, they were with a little top of echelon fighters. Tonight, a good spot for Guinn, taking nothing away from Lawrence, a real game guy, but a little notch below the guys that had given Guinn trouble in the past.
It was the end of the second round. This is the first knockdown, Teddy.
Again, inside, the left hand a little bit low of Lawrence, giving an opening for the right hand of Guinn. Again, a bit of a short right hand on the inside. And then inside where Lawrence did not expect that. And then the end of the fight, well, the right hand was working, so Guinn kept it simple. Went right back with that right hand twice, and the last one behind the ear put Lawrence down for the second time in the round and for the final time in the round. You know, on the inside, give Guinn credit. He finally moved his hand, and Lawrence, I think, was a little relaxed in there, not expecting that punch.
Dominick Guinn, impressive knockout in the second round. 28th win of his career. We will talk to him